Hey guys, and welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to be talking about this new tool that I just got in the mail pretty recently, about a week ago. This is the Nextool Mini Sailor, and I'm a big fan of these smaller size multi-tools just because they come in handy when you least expect it. A lot of the time I find the best tool you have is the one that you can keep on you easily, and this one fits directly in the coin pocket, in my coin pocket, out, pretty much without even noticing that it's there. So sort of have the same philosophy when it comes to these smaller tools as well with the EDC flashlights. You want something that can get the job done, but you don't want it to take up too much room in the pocket and just be kind of heavy weighing you down, especially if you're not going very fast. So I think this is a really good little option out there, and it's got a 10-in-1 sort of design, so 10 different tools, and you can see the outside is made out of this aluminium material. It's anodized aluminium, very sleek, kind of a bluish green color, I suppose, on the outside. Okay. I like how it's quite symmetrical as well, pleasing to the eye. Here you have the main blade itself. Okay. And it is a decent length. Now, if I compare it to another tool that I have here, this is my Gerber dime, which I've owned for quite some time as well. It's got decent length on it. It's got a little bit more there. Same if I compare it with my little Victorinox pocket knife there. So it's definitely a decent size. And if you are using it to say, cut fruit, using it to take clippings or just some odd jobs, odd little craft jobs, maybe taking bark off, some sticks, or even sharpening some sticks, you're going to be completely fine with this blade. And I like how it all opens up. All the tools open up from the outside as well. So on the other side of the blade, you've got here a can opener and a bottle opener, okay, all in the same tool, which is pretty good. You don't have to have two, individual ones to actually achieve the same result like you see on some of those larger tools. But yeah, pretty good. And let's have a look at the other side. You've got a couple of screwdrivers. So this here is a normal flathead screwdriver, right there. And on the other side, I've got like a little Phillips head screwdriver. And with a lot of these multi-tools, you find that the Phillips head isn't really as pronounced as you can see here because they have to fit it into a slim kind of profile. But you can see there the cutouts on the side. And here we can, on the other side, really interesting thing, you have got a pair of scissors. So they fold down in a funny sort of manner like this. You kind of got to open it up fully, and then you can put this pair of the scissors down like that. And I find this is really useful if you are looking for a pair of scissors that's more practical than your average pair of scissors that you find on other pocket knives. So you can see here with the Victorinox ones, these work pretty well, okay, but they are a little bit flimsy, I find, for larger jobs. You see they're sort of thinner, okay. There used to be a spring here, but that's broken off. It's a very sort of a thin kind of spring, okay. But the one here, as you can see on the Nextool, it's a little bit thicker, okay, and it feels like it's gonna stand up the test of time. I mean, I'm gonna have to just see how it actually performs. But yeah, for the time being, you can see it really has a lot of spring to it. And the scissors are a little bit chunkier as well, so they're going to handle a bit more abuse. So basically put them back in, open them all the way up, then you just push onto this section here. Just make sure you have them opened all the way up so you don't hurt yourself. And that's basically it. So there is also another little tool that I forgot to mention. It's kind of hidden away in here. Where is it? It's in this one here. So behind this screwdriver, you have a little pin kind of device here. So this is basically a SIM card ejector. Okay, you can probably use it for a few other things as well. Don't know when you might have to use a sort of a point like this. It's not sharp, but yeah, definitely could be used maybe to pry up something, maybe to get into a smaller space, scratch away at a surface maybe. I don't know if you could pick a lock with it, but yeah, it's a nice little addition, and it is hidden behind that other screwdriver. I almost forgot about it. When you open up the entire tool, you have a pair of pliers. Okay, looks really quite nice. Opened up completely, and you can see there's needle nose pliers here. Okay, for the head. There's also down in the center just your normal pliers. If you look at the top of these needle nose pliers, you can see that there are no ridges, so that's suitable if you're maybe using this for jewelry, or maybe on some material, some metal that you don't want to scratch up. Further down, you've got those ridges to get a little bit more grip on an object that you don't mind scratching up. Normal pliers, wire cutters in there. So that's what's included in terms of all the tools. So I want to go through some considerations that you need to be aware of. Now, this tool is not for heavy use, and I found that out when I was doing a bit of an unintentional torture test on the blade. So I wanted to use this to split open a pretty large branch, kind of about this thick. I had the blade over the top, and basically I just used a stick to just whack away, a larger stick to just whack away at the top of this blade. And unfortunately, what happened is that I ended up breaking off a piece of metal here. Okay, so I really was giving it a good whack, and the tool is not meant to be used for those sort of laborious kind of tasks. You know, sharpening sticks, you know, anything that you can do by hand, completely fine. But yeah, I was using a stick to just basically give it a good whack, good sort of 10 whacks. So yeah, this is more for sort of small tasks around the house, outdoors. You know, definitely not going to replace a full-sized heavy-duty multi-tool. It is a highly portable multi-tool, and it's designed for more lighter jobs. The second consideration is that there is no locking mechanism on blades. So open it up like that, it does not lock, which means that if you are cutting in at a certain angle, maybe you're holding the blade like this and you're cutting in maybe from over the top, and there's a chance that the blade might be pushed down. You really have to be careful there. I mean, that goes for most of these smaller multi-tools. I haven't seen any other smaller multi-tools or even pocket knives that have a locking mechanism on there. Again, it's just not meant to be used for those bigger jobs where you're applying a lot of force in different angles. Now, the third consideration is that would it be nice, you know, and it's more of a design suggestion, if there was a wood saw or a hacksaw in this thing. So obviously you got this bottle opener, can opener, very useful, but yeah, obviously it's hard to fit in so many tools in the same thing, and you've got this center part that needs to be reserved for the pliers. Overall, I think this is a great looking and functional 10-in-1 multi-tool. It's got pretty much everything that you need on a day-to-day basis, and yeah, something that you could stash away in a bag in an emergency, just have on you for those odd jobs and light tasks. All right, I've got here the Nextool Sailor, Mini Sailor, and I'm gonna test it out, maybe sharpen some sticks, see how it handles cutting some bark, maybe some leaves, and go from there. So yeah, I mean, there's really not all that much to test in there. I've just got the blade, really. So yeah, just having a look. There's scissors, so we'll test the scissors as well. So as you can see, the blade does not lock, so you really have to be careful with that. So I have a little sort of stick here. Let's see how it handles cutting this. Pretty sharp, but you know, it is a little multi-tool, so you're not really going to get, you know, that ease of use as a full-size one. But I have to say, you know, not bad. And if this is all you have on you, it cuts through that wood pretty easily. If I can find a rock as well, around here, find a rock, maybe like another bigger stick to whack it with. It's cutting through it.
So I sort of took this Sailor Mini and used another stick to whack it, try to break open this, snap open this stick, and looks like I've given it too hard of a whack, and I've broken a bit of the locking mechanism that holds it over in the back there. So yeah, it's not really, fortunately it's not really closing so well. I mean, I can still use it to do some basic sort of tasks like removing bark, but yeah, noted, just have to be careful in terms of taking it to any sort of difficult tasks, using anything heavy to hit it like a rock or something like that. It's probably not going to hold up. Not so surprising given that it's just a little pocket tool like this. Alright, so we'll test out the scissors on the Sailor Mini, and it does pretty well for things like leaves, okay, maybe small twigs. The thing I like about these scissors is that they're just a little bit larger than normal scissors, and it's got this mechanism here, that sort of spring mechanism that opens it up straight away. Okay, so yeah, pretty good with leaves. This is a stick. It's not really getting through the stick unless I really kind of whack it. I'm trying to find maybe a bit of bark or something like that. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking of cutting any larger sticks, stuff like that, you're probably not gonna do so well. But things like grass, maybe some clippings, flowers, herbs, maybe you're doing some foraging, it's going to be pretty good.